Being a lukewarm Christian does not always mean what you think. In Revelation 3:15 through 16, it says, I know your works. You are neither hot nor cold. It says, I wish you were one of them. Because you are lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. The key thing here is that the first scripture says, I know your works. So in order to understand what I'm about to say, you need to understand how God views love. Another scripture says, if you love me, you obey my commandments. So you show God love by your actions. Now, this is not to get confused with how we make it into heaven, because we do not get into heaven by our works. Rather, we are saved by grace. What does it actually mean to be a lukewarm Christian? Scripture in Revelation is actually referring to consistency. It's referring to a person that is not really fully committed, but also not really fully engaged. A person who is essentially inconsistent with their actions. So practically, what does this look like? This looks like someone who might pray to God fervently for maybe a week, but then falls off. Not really consistent in their prayer life. Or you don't really go to church, maybe once in a while. Or maybe you only really talk to God when you need something. Inconsistency is reflective upon all other areas of your life. If you're inconsistent with God, odds are you're not really a consistent person. Also, because in the word it says that what you do for the least of them, you do for me. It also involves your consistency with other believers. Do you keep your word when you tell someone, I'll be at church? You keep your word when you tell someone that you'll help them or be there for them. Consistency is what determines whether you are lukewarm or not. Doesn't mean, oh, you used to be on fire for God and now you're not. That's called being a backslidden Christian. And there's a difference. And being lukewarm is way worse than being a backslidden Christian. We see this in scripture because God says that he will spit the lukewarm Christians out of his mouth. Your consistency is so important to God because your actions show your loyalty. Your actions show God where your heart is. If your heart is not fully with him, that is worse than not being with him at all. Consistency is the test of a true believer. And most people who are inconsistent also lack faith too. Don't be caught being a lukewarm Christian.